Priyank, I'm almost scared to ask you anything because, you said Bangalore is so good, Karnataka is so good, and you backed up everything with data points. See, my only question is, why does the Labour Minister undo whatever you're trying to do? So, you've made excellent pitch, right? GCC policy, this policy, that policy. But, then he comes out and does something on gig workers, something on jobs for locals. Why are you guys working in cross purposes? It's almost like one division is trying to undo the good that you're doing.
No, see, there's nothing like good or bad. We function as a government together. And probably, see, as a Labour Minister, it's his job to protect his clan, or his job to protect his entire thing. And quite naturally, a lot of people might have come to him and given him their concerns. And he's done what they see him fit. And when we spoke to him and told him that, look, we need to generate employment, we need to get in investments, and more importantly, just like how it is important for you to think of the welfare of the labor, it is for us also to do so. We are a welfare state. India is a welfare state. There is no doubt about that. And our intention is to have any policy or any bill with consultation, with industry consultation. We have reached so far. We are an economic powerhouse for the nation because we are inclusive. We consult with industry, we speak with industry, we figure out what to do. And this bill went under the radar, and when it did come up, we have told that we will consult with the industry. I myself have assured, CM has assured, the Deputy Chief Minister has come out in this. Even the Labour Minister has told that, look, we will all work together on this, keeping welfare in mind, at the same time ensuring that businesses thrive. Only if investments come, employment is generated. Only if employment is generated, there is labor. Only if there is labor, there is a union. Otherwise, nothing is there. So
the 700 or 800 employees of Zepto are going to move from Mumbai to Bangalore. Something that, you welcomed in your tweet, and I think Dr. Ekroop Caur also welcomed it in her social media. How are you going to ensure these people that, 3 months down the line, we suddenly won't wake up and say that we are going to reserve jobs for locals?
See, my intention as a minister of Karnataka is to ensure that as many Kannadigas as possible are employed. That's my first. There is no change of stand in that. Andhra Pradesh tried it. It did not stand the test of judiciary. Haryana tried it. Same thing happened. But when I say I want to ensure that locals get the jobs, the first thing I need to do is ensure that I skill them in every possible skill set.
Right.
I will assure you and the industry that nothing will come up without their consultation, number one. And number two, we will give you the most skilled human resource in the world from Karnataka. We skill locally, we work globally. So the intention of the government of Karnataka is very clear. We intend to have a very strong, skilled workforce, whether it is for Zepto or whether it is for Global Foundry or whether it's for semiconductors, chip design, whatever it is. Every sector will have the most skilled workforce.
Right. A round of applause for that. He's pretty much assured that nothing untoward will suddenly come up one fine day. But Dr. Ekroop Caur, coming to you, IT and BT Secretary, and one thorny issue in the last few weeks in Karnataka is the extension of working hours. Now, we are picking up from our sources that this is coming because of GCCs mushrooming in Karnataka. You have an ambitious GCC policy. You want to, attract more GCCs to the state. But for the first time, we've seen techies taking to the streets, protesting against extension in working hours. How are you going to address this problem?
So first of all, I would like to clarify that the change which was being brought about is industry-led and it is demand of the industry. Unfortunately, the communication has not been done very properly. The shift continues to be 9 hours. There is no change in the shift timings. We are only allowing some flexibility in terms of overtime and going up to 12 hours. That also there is a cap on the total number of overtime hours in a quarter. And the spread over certainly becomes 14 hours because there is a 2 hours break in between. After every 5 hours, because you cannot work like a machine, you need rest. So after every 5 hours, there is a built-in requirement for 1 hour of rest. In other states, it is in many other states, and I think even in the Government of India's proposed, the model bill, it is half an hour. So therefore, the spread becomes a little longer because we insist on a 1 hour break after every 5 hours. But it is not going to lead to 14 hours. That is completely, I think...
So IT employees don't get too worried, yeah.
I think to some extent, it just kind of snowballed into something very different. That was not the intent of the government. And there are many safeguards built into this amendment that we were trying to bring in. One of the main things is that it is going to be only for selective industries or selective companies that apply to Labor Department seek a permission. So it's not a uniform change of the act which has been proposed. So when that exemption is given and permission is given for extra working hours, I'm sure Labor Department will look into all the safety aspects. They will ensure that the employees are not put to any kind of hardship. Labor Department will go out of its way to ensure that. So I don't think there is anything to worry, but there are certain concerns from the industry, and it is not just GCCs. It's because, we are working in a global environment. They have to match their schedules with other countries. We recently had an outage in terms of CrowdStrike. So in certain instances, you need that flexibility. And I think we were just trying to build in that flexibility, nothing like mandating 14 hours.
Right. Priyank, we've called this session, Can Karnataka Retain Its Edge? And you've sort of proved that it can when it comes to being the tech and startup hub. But how worried are you about Amaravati? Because, Chandrababu Naidu has this track record of transforming Hyderabad to Cyberabad. Are you, or, you're dismissive?
Do I look worried? This budget, they got 15,000 crores to build Amaravati. By the time that 15,000 reaches Delhi to Amaravati only, we would have finished everything.
So, not too worried. Maybe you can tell Nara Lokesh that.
I know I'm sounding very arrogant, but these are the people who are making me arrogant. It's their hard work that has put us up here. Having said that, competition is good. It's always good for us. It makes us, the government engages more with the companies and the corporates and the industries. We get to learn, we get to see how we can make our policies better, sharper than the rest. All the things that I spoke today, all the data points that I gave today is because we have policies that are future looking. I'm coming up with a circular economy policy. I'm coming up with state specific space tech policy. We are coming up with a GCC policy. All this is because the industry, we are having a dialogue with the industry, number one. Number two, we are also heavily focused on skills. See, it's just, like you rightly said, why should I be worried about Telangana or Amaravati? Maybe not now, maybe sometime later on, because every time, as soon as any new investment comes in, I give them land, subsidized tariffs, power, water, everything. But I believe in Telangana and Andhra, they just fall short of beating all incentives and subsidies that we give, plus just fall short of the government work desk being in there. So that's how aggressive they are. But the way we are working is, we are providing an entire ecosystem. Education, research and development ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, policy ecosystem, skill ecosystem. So this I don't think anywhere else you will find. So if
and
you're asking
network effects also.
Yes, years to build that. And no, I'm not at all worried. If that's the question again.
Okay. Dr. Caur, one can argue that, there are two big EV companies in Bangalore, right? Ola Electric, which just listed today, and Ather, which I think will list in some months. But their manufacturing facilities are in Hosur, in Tamil Nadu. Now, how are you going to ensure that the next wave of companies make in Karnataka? That you don't miss out on that?
So we have always had very, very specific, sector-specific policies. And while under the ESDM policy, we are supporting some of the automotive tech part of it. but we are also coming out with a new clean energy policy, which automobiles will be one part of that. And I think it is going to be so attractive that nobody will be able to, refuse or looking at Karnataka. The other big advantage is that because all the R&D is happening in Karnataka, there is a huge potential in Ola. Actually, it grew in Karnataka and then moved out for its manufacturing. So I am sure with the new policies and the way the government is now very focused on creating industrial townships around Bangalore, which has actually been the demand for industries which are very tech-oriented, having high-end skills required. So with those kind of focus, I am sure we will be able to attract these companies back to Karnataka.
Right.
I have an easier solution.
Huh.
Once in 5 years, just ensure you vote us back to power.
Okay, final couple of questions. First, Dr. Ekroop, Kaur, to you. What is the status of the US embassy that's supposed to come up in Bengaluru? Because currently people have to go to Chennai and Hyderabad to get their H-1B visas.
So I think it's almost around the corner.
Round the corner means August,
Well,
September.
अभी तो
very
elections
shortly.
उधर भी चल रहा है. So once the post-elections, I think we'll be in a better position to comment. And be rest assured, I'm personally looking into it. The
We
government
just
of
had a meeting
Karnataka,
with CGUS on that
and
just 3 days back.
the last time we were supposed to go meet the ambassador, but he was out of the country. He was for the World Cup. He was in USA that time. So yeah, but we're on it. We'll not let it go.
Right. Final question to you, Priyank. All these policies are amazing, but what can we do to fix Bangalore's infrastructure? Because, right now, it's just broken in so many places.
I was just telling your people in the boardroom that the minute I sit here, I become the urban development minister. But having said that, see, it's a problem with every growing city, whether it is Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, London, San Francisco. Name the city. Every growing city has these infrastructural problems. Having said that, I'm not trying to get away, but we are doing all we can do to ensure that we build in these connections very quickly, the infrastructure part of it. We have the Deputy Chief Minister who is now in charge of Bengaluru development. Before, in the last 5-6 years, it was not there in the previous regime. So it was neglected. If you see that we have already opened the purple line, the metro work is going on extremely at a very brisk pace, and we are coming up with a lot of UGDs to ensure that there's no heavy clogging anywhere that happens. And more importantly, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Shivakumar, is very clear on his agenda with respect to Bangalore, and he is assured that he will speak to the tech corridor leaders of Bangalore, treat it like a brownfield, check on what are the civic amenities that are needed, whether it's mobility, water, power, any other things that will be required. So we'll be soon coming up with a decade blueprint for Bengaluru, for the tech corridors, for the corridors or the industrial corridors that are paying high taxes, that are generating employment, that are creating a lot of that is generating that is nurturing economy for the nation as well. It's just, we don't contribute just to the Karnataka ecosystem, right? We are nation builders as well here in Karnataka. So it's just not Bangalore. The focus remains on all the tier 2 towns as well, where investments are coming. So we are working on a blueprint right now for that, and I'm sure it will ensure that in the long run, Bengaluru remains a world leader.
Right. On that note, thank you both very much. A huge round of applause for the Minister and the IT and BT Secretary, Dr. Caur.